All right, let's go to Cincinnati, Greg Jennings. Let's talk about Joe Burrow, who said something that a lot of players kind of avoid saying because you put yourself in a corner when you say it.
Ooh.
But he's right. And Joe Burrow said yesterday that their game against the Cardinals is a must-win game. It's a must-win game. We're tough guys, all that stuff. Here's the problem. You're not talking about the Cincinnati Bengals at their healthiest, all systems go, trying to beat a team that they're clearly better than in the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona's going to fight. We've seen that already.
Yep.
Every game this year, win or lose, they fight, they compete for a full 60 minutes. The issue, again, is his leg. And the Cincinnati Bengals, with a one-legged Joe Burrow, just aren't a good offensive team.
Yeah, those are the facts. And at some point, like we've all said at several times throughout this show, that it's on the Cincinnati Bengals to protect Joe Burrow.
Right.
But with him continuing to play, it's going to, at some point, shift to being, okay, you keep continuously saying, I'm healthy enough to play.
Right.
Is this who you are right now, Joe Burrow?
Right, his numbers stink.
You know, as an athlete, as a player, as a competitor, you can only play so long and so much without performing to your talent and expectation.
Sure.
At some point, the guys in the locker room are going to start saying, dude, you got to be better. If you're going to be on the field, it is now on you.
Because what's the term you used yesterday? When you're on the field, I don't view you as injured.
No.
Because you're in a uniform, you got a helmet on, and you're on the field, right?
Absolutely.
And
that's how we view it.
Yeah, I think Greg's right. I think to the point when you look at Joe Burrow right now, he seems unrecognizable, right? You're going against Josh Dobbs. We're looking at Josh Dobbs beating Joe Burrow right now because of the way he's played the last 4 weeks. And that's tough to swallow considering how much you've paid this man. The Cincinnati Bengals are 2 back behind the Baltimore Ravens. They lose this game, it's over. Because you know the Ravens are only going to get better. You assume that Pittsburgh's going to figure it out. And you understand the Browns are going to be better as well. And the AFC is just taking off as we speak. So if I'm Joe Burrow right now, with this offense not being able to get the ball down the field, T. Higgins now with the broken ribs, Jamar Chase only has 29 receptions. This Cincinnati Bengals team is looking at their leader like, hey, man, anytime now.
Yeah, right.
It's not happening. So it does fall on Joe Burrow to be that guy. As much as I respect his heart, and we've said that, we respect his warrior spirit, but it's about production.
Yeah, and
they're not producing wins.
And speaking about production, not just wins, here's a team that's built on its offense.
Yep. Yes.
And they've scored 20 points once in a month of football now. And that's not because Jamar Chase forgot how to get open.
Sure.
It's not because Joe Mixon forgot how to run straight. It's because the thing that it's all built around isn't 100%, and they can't run their offense. I don't care who it is. Tell me I'm going to take one leg away from Lamar Jackson. Guess what? The Ravens' offense is going to stink.
Yep.
I'm taking a leg away from Josh Allen. The Bills' offense is going to stink, and on and on and on and on and on. So you get the point. But they have no choice. Their season's on the line. He's played every game already. He's going to play against Arizona. Cardinals do a pretty good job thus far this year of getting to the quarterback. They fight, and the Cincinnati Bengals don't score points.
But this is the thing. It's not Joe Burrow's arm. It's his ability to extend plays with his legs.
Right.
That's what's hurting him because when he steps in the pocket and he doesn't have any open receivers, we know he can run. Like, this is a guy who's been to multiple AFC championships, right?
Yeah.
So there's a standard, to your point, Greg, he's set. So if you're in that locker, you're like, dude, I've been with you through the long haul. I've seen and I know what you can do. There's times during that game, especially the Tennessee game, where he flat out couldn't get out the pocket. He scampered for 1 first down, and when he turned around, the camera was on the face. It looked like he pottied on himself because he was in so much pain.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if I'm Joe Burrow, bro, I love the heart, I love the fight, but this is that time where if you lose this game, you go to Zach Taylor and be like, hey, dog, I tried.
By the way, it's also clear that Willie has kids under the age of 6.
Potty on himself.
I have not heard the term potty on yourself in a long time.
Yeah, using potty as a verb. Yeah.
The reality of it is we continue to hear Zach Taylor say, well, he looks good. We continue to hear Joe Burrow say, I feel good. I feel better than I have after any other game. And what it is when you practice, you know this.
Sure.
Nobody's getting after the quarterback. You're able to step up into that pocket. You don't feel that pressure. You know you're not going to get
jersey
hit.
on.
You don't have to put that amount of pressure that you're going to have to be forced to put on your leg in practice. You don't have to do that all week. But when you get into that game, the film doesn't lie. He is not a quarterback that gets out of the pocket and beats you with his legs, so to speak.
Right.
But he does elude defenders and pass rushers and step up into the pocket.
Sure.
We haven't been able to see that. He has to drive through the ball. We're not seeing all these things, and at some point, it's getting so deep into the season now where you're forced if you're the Cincinnati Bengals to continue to play him.
The only good
he's not
thing for
been
the
guy.
Bengals is that there's enough parity in the NFL where if you're 2-3, your season ain't over, right? If you're 1-4, I mean, there's only so many games you get to play. At some point, just mathematically, you're not going to win. You're not going to make the playoffs. 2-3, you stay alive. Every 2-3 team in football, I don't care what division you're in, you are alive in October, at least to be in the wild card conversation, a few weeks down the road. If you're 1-4, I'm sorry, it's a wrap. Your season is over because there's just too many teams that you have to jump over, and there'd be no reason for anyone to think that you're going to go on one of those 6, 7, 8 game winning streaks because you're 1-4, right? So Joe Burrow saying that it's a must-win game, I think is right. I think it's obvious, and I think it's dangerous to say it. Because when you lose a game that your captain and quarterback says is must-win, where do you go from there? What do you say to the reporters the next day? What do you say to your fan base the next day? Hey, wait a minute. You just told me that was a must-win game, and you lost it. So now you're telling me the season's a wrap. I ain't got to go to the game anymore, right? My season's over.
On top of that, from a morale standpoint, now you're suppressing the locker room, right? Because this is a team in the Arizona Cardinals you should beat, right? Historically, you should be on paper.
Yeah.
But this is a team that's always looked at the Buffalo Bills or the Chiefs like, that's the standard. Those are the guys we should beat. They didn't start the season thinking they was going to be in a dogfight, going into a dogfight against the Cardinals because of Joe Burrow.
No.
So when you say we must win, it does put them like, man, so what happens if we lose?
Right.
Where do we go?
Because here's the way it goes. Play it out. I'm the reporter. You guys are the player, right? Hey, you told me that was a must-win game. You just lost it. You're 1-4. Is your season over?
Yes.
No. Right, but that's the point. That's the.
And we're being honest.
That becomes the narrative if you lose the game that your quarterback said is must-win.
And what else starts to become the narrative is this is on Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
We no longer can make the excuse of they shouldn't be playing Joe Burrow because you say it's a must-win. So what that naturally does is all eyes are watching this game is going to be, okay, let's see how Joe Burrow plays. He said he feels the best that he's ever felt after any game so far this season. So are we going to get the stat Joe Burrow that's 29th, 30th, last basically in his performance? Or are we going to get the Joe Burrow that is deserving of the $200+ million?
He's already broken this out. Week 3, he said, I don't want to be 0-3. That's why I played so we can get to 1-2. Right. And here he is 2 weeks later being like, this is a must-win. And when you look at we all summer, we look at the schedules. And when you look at the Bengals schedules, no one said, Arizona.
Right.
That's going to be a pivotal moment for the season.
Right.
Like, no one was like, see that Week 5 Cardinals game? That's what we're going to know about the Bengals. And look at us now. We're talking about Week 5 Bengals Cardinals, about the season ending for the Bengals.
And by the way, they
because
got the
of Joe Burrow.
Seahawks.
All because of Joe Burrow's play.
I know what every Bengal fan did. Leave that up there for a second, boys. Every Bengal fan back in August said, because we all do it for our favorite team.
Win.
They went win-loss, win-win-win-win, bye.
Yes, exactly.
Right? That's what they all did.
Yes.
It hasn't quite worked out that way, has it?
And it would feel so different if Joe Burrow hadn't been a part of any of these first 4 weeks.
Because then you could say, well, we didn't win.
We didn't have Joe.
But Joe Burrow's
Those
quarterback
losses are
after the bye week.
because of Joe Burrow.
Yep.
It's because of him they have
Well,
losses.
I feel for you, Cincinnati, but you've been very mean
Do
to
you?
me. So
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, I have a heart. I have a heart of gold from time to time. Yeah, not for people in Cincinnati, though. You suck. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out, too.